You think your biggest enemy is a difficult boss, a lack of money, bad luck, or people standing in your way? But what if the enemy lives inside you? What if the very thing preventing your growth, destroying your opportunities, and keeping you from reaching your potential is something you carry everywhere you go? And the most dangerous part is that you rarely recognize it. To kill it, you first have to see it. It doesn't arrive looking like a weakness. It disguises itself as confidence, ambition, intelligence, and even success. That's why so many talented people spend years fighting the wrong battles, while the real threat quietly grows stronger beneath the surface. Most people believe their problems come from external obstacles. They blame circumstances, timing, competition, or a lack of resources. Yet history repeatedly shows something surprising. Many individuals fail not because they lack talent, discipline, or opportunity, but because they become trapped by their own self-image. The moment they become more concerned with appearing successful than becoming successful, their growth begins to slow down. This hidden force influences the way you think, the way you react to criticism, the way you handle success, and even the way you respond to failure. It whispers that you already know enough. It convinces you that recognition matters more than mastery. It makes you chase applause instead of progress. And because its voice sounds so reasonable, most people never realize they are being controlled by it. Ryan Holiday explores this uncomfortable truth in Ego is the Enemy, revealing how ego quietly sabotages us during ambition, success, and failure. The book is not about becoming insecure or thinking less of yourself. It is about seeing reality clearly enough to keep growing when others stop. But there is one hidden mechanism behind all of this. A mechanism that causes intelligent people to stop learning, successful people to self-destruct, and hard-working people to remain stuck despite years of effort. The truly fascinating part is that this mechanism often becomes stronger after you achieve something meaningful. The very success you worked so hard to earn can become the reason you stop evolving. And when you discover what that mechanism is, you'll understand why some people continue growing for decades, while others become prisoners of their own importance. The invisible addiction to being important. The hunger for recognition can become stronger than the desire to grow. Most people never realize they are addicted to something far more dangerous than comfort. They are addicted to significance. Not the kind earned through contribution and competence, but the constant need to feel noticed, admired, and validated. At first, this seems harmless. Everyone likes appreciation. The problem begins when recognition becomes the goal instead of the reward. The ego thrives on attention. It pushes people to announce plans before taking action, to seek approval before earning results, and to care more about appearances than progress. Slowly, the image becomes more important than the reality. This is why many talented individuals remain stuck. They spend hours protecting a reputation they have not fully built. They talk about success, study success, and dream about success, yet invest less time in the difficult work required to achieve it. Real growth is often invisible. Nobody applauds the long hours of practice, the mistakes, the discipline, or the quiet sacrifices. The ego hates this process because it wants immediate recognition. It wants proof that it matters right now. The danger is subtle. The more attached you become to being perceived as capable, the harder it becomes to admit weaknesses, ask questions, or remain a student. Growth slows. The moment protecting your image becomes more important than improving yourself. The people who achieve lasting success usually understand something different. They focus on the work itself. Their attention stays on learning, improving, and executing rather than impressing others. A simple question exposes the truth. If nobody knew what you were doing, would you still be willing to do it? Your answer reveals whether your actions are driven by purpose or by ego. But this invisible addiction is only the beginning. Because when recognition finally arrives, the ego gains something even more dangerous to feed on: success itself. when success becomes a trap. Success can quietly become the beginning of your decline. Most people spend years believing that success will solve their problems. They imagine that once they achieve recognition, wealth, status, or influence, life will become easier. What they rarely consider is that success creates a new set of dangers. The ego loves achievement because achievement seems to confirm its story. It starts whispering that you are different, smarter, more capable, or somehow exempt from the mistakes that affect everyone else. This is where growth often begins to slow down. The moment people believe they have arrived, they stop evolving. They become less curious. They listen less carefully. Criticism feels like an attack instead of valuable feedback. Learning becomes uncomfortable because it threatens the identity they have built around being successful. History is filled with talented individuals who reached extraordinary heights only to sabotage themselves afterward. Their downfall rarely began with incompetence. It began with certainty. They stopped questioning themselves. They stopped improving. They started believing their own reputation. One of the greatest paradoxes of achievement is that success often creates the illusion that the habits responsible for getting you there are no longer necessary. Discipline becomes optional. Humility fades. Small compromises appear harmless. But reality never stops changing. The person who continues growing is not the one who achieves success. It is the one who remains a student after achieving it. The most dangerous sentence in any field is not, "I failed." It is, "I already know." The moment that belief takes hold, the ego builds a wall between you and future growth. Opportunities become harder to see because certainty blinds you to what you still need to learn. Yet an even deeper problem appears when reality eventually challenges the image you have created. And when that happens, the ego responds with one of its most powerful weapons: self-deception. The stories you tell yourself. The most convincing lies are the ones you tell yourself. Few people see themselves as arrogant, self-destructive, or blind to reality. The ego is far too clever for that. Instead, it protects itself by creating stories that feel reasonable, logical, and justified. When something goes wrong, the ego immediately searches for an explanation that preserves your self-image. The failure was someone else's fault. The opportunity was unfair. The timing was bad. The circumstances were impossible. Sometimes those explanations contain a grain of truth. The danger is that they prevent honest reflection. Growth begins with responsibility. Ego begins with excuses. This is why two people can experience the exact same setback and walk away with completely different futures. One asks, "What can I learn from this?" The other asks, "Who can I blame for this?" The first person gains wisdom. The second protects their pride. The ego would rather defend a comfortable illusion than confront an uncomfortable reality. It prefers temporary emotional relief over long-term improvement. For a moment, the story feels good, but every excuse comes with a hidden cost. It steals the lesson. This pattern appears everywhere. People convince themselves they are working hard enough when they are not. They believe they are open-minded while rejecting criticism. They claim they want growth while avoiding the discomfort growth requires. The problem is not that the ego lies. The problem is that it makes those lies feel true. That is why self-awareness is one of the rarest qualities in the world. It requires the courage to look at yourself without distortion, without excuses, and without the constant need to be right. But once you begin seeing through these stories, a new possibility emerges. You stop wasting energy defending an identity and start investing energy into becoming stronger. And that leads to one of the most powerful disciplines a person can develop: the ability to stop needing attention altogether. The discipline of becoming nobody. Power grows faster in silence than in the spotlight. The ego wants visibility. It wants recognition, credit, and constant proof that its existence matters. But some of the most effective people in history understood a different principle. The less energy spent seeking attention, the more energy becomes available for meaningful work. This does not mean hiding from the world or avoiding ambition. It means separating achievement from the need to be seen achieving. Most people underestimate how much time they spend managing appearances. They carefully construct an image, seek approval, and measure their value through the reactions of others. The problem is that every minute spent feeding that image is a minute not spent building real competence. The strongest individuals are often the least concerned with looking strong. They understand that results speak more clearly than self-promotion ever could. This requires discipline because silence can feel uncomfortable. When nobody notices your effort, when recognition is delayed, and when progress happens behind closed doors, the ego begins demanding attention. It wants evidence that the work matters. Yet this is exactly where transformation occurs. When you learn to work without applause, you become difficult to distract. When you stop chasing validation, your decisions become clearer. When you no longer need to prove your worth, you gain the freedom to focus entirely on improvement. This mindset creates a powerful advantage. While others are competing for attention, you are building capability. While others are protecting reputations, you are developing skills. While others are talking, you are becoming. The remarkable truth is that becoming nobody in your own mind often allows you to accomplish far more in reality. But there is one final lesson that ties everything together. Because the ego does not disappear after ambition, success, or failure. It remains present throughout your entire life, waiting for opportunities to regain control. Kill the enemy before it kills your future. The battle never ends because the enemy never leaves. By now, a pattern has become impossible to ignore. The ego was present when you wanted recognition. It was present when success arrived. It was present when failure demanded accountability. And it remains present even when you believe you have conquered it. That is what makes it such a dangerous opponent. Most enemies attack from the outside. The ego attacks from within. It knows your fears, your ambitions, your insecurities, and your desires. It adapts to every stage of life. When you are striving, it tells you to seek attention. When you succeed, it tells you that you are special. When you fail, it tells you that you are a victim. Its goal is always the same, to place your image above reality, and the cost is enormous. Entire careers have been destroyed because talented people stopped learning. Relationships have collapsed because pride became more important than understanding. Opportunities have disappeared because arrogance convinced someone they no longer needed discipline. The freedom Ryan Holiday points toward is not found in becoming more important. It is found in becoming more honest. Honest about your strengths. Honest about your weaknesses. Honest about how much you still have to learn. The hidden mechanism we opened at the beginning of this video is now clear. The people who continue growing are not necessarily the most talented, intelligent, or fortunate. They are the ones who refuse to let their identity become more valuable than the truth. They remain students. They remain humble. They remain open. The moment you stop protecting your ego, you start protecting your future. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all is this: your greatest enemy was never the world around you. It was the voice inside you that kept demanding to be more important than the work, more important than the lesson, and more important than reality itself. Kill that enemy, and you do not become smaller. You finally become free.